Watch me show you how a senior engineer will go about updating components inside of their enterprise solution. Hey, if you're a small, medium-sized business or an engineer who's working in a small, medium-sized business and you're trying to figure out what is a good way to update my bill of materials for hardware design, then you want to watch this video. I'll show you the things you need to look out for and what engineers have to deal with every day when working on real client projects so that you don't hold up a project that needs to go into production. The biggest problem that I have when it comes to like getting boards out for fabrication and assembly is the parts. Like a lot of people have this problem, and I've seen this every time in industry. The PCB will be done and finished and manufactured, but it's the supply chain. You may hear this thing called supply chain. I'm going to show you why that is so important, why that matters. Okay, so here we have an example. This is the NVIDIA Jetson AGX Orin Nano, whatever, AGX Orin developer kit. And there's a board here that's the carrier board that has over 1,500 components. All right, 1,500 real rows of things with components. Actually, it's only about 1,000 parts. And a number of those parts, the team called out alternate parts and everything, which is great, but we still need to update them. So I'll show you how to update these and these properly. I'm not going to do it for all of them, but I'll show you how. So I'm using Altium Develop to do this in. Altium Develop's bill of materials management tool. The reason is because like there are other bill of materials tools like the one from Octopart and JLC PCB, GGKey and all that, and they're great, but this one's the best by far. So let me show you how well it does that. I downloaded the files, like the bill of materials from this download thing. So click the link below if you want to access these files. You need to set up and make an account, download the files, and then check this out. Once you go into Altium Develop, make an account, you get the free trial. Click the link below to access it. And by the way, thank you to Altium for sponsoring this video. But yeah, you click the link below and you can access it just like how I'm doing. And then you double click on, you click on this thing, click new, and then BOM. You upload a BOM or Excel spreadsheet. The purpose of this is because the Excel spreadsheet doesn't have access to real world data. What are you going to do? Like manually look up all the parts, right? Like, do you want to manually look up all the parts from an Excel spreadsheet and 900 components? No, that's why we have BOM tools, right? So if you're new to this BOM tool stuff, then this is a video for you. If you already do this, I'm gonna show you how superior this BOM tools is. It's not just because I'm getting sponsored. It's just literally what I'm using for projects, okay? And so here, once you've uploaded it, right, it's gonna tell you to double click to finish the upload. Let me see. And it's going to like give you information and details about how many lines you have, what's the total BOM price and everything. You're not going to do that manually. All right. So let me see. With it uploaded, right, what I really like is how for each major component like C518, they have tons of alternate parts. And I also really like that you have these like check marks to let you know if everything is good with the part, no issues. It even pulls the data sheets for you. So if I were to click on here for this component, this capacitor from Kemet, it pulls the data sheet just automatically. I don't have to physically go and get it myself. Here, down in this row on the right, if I go further down on the right, the order list, I can then choose which manufacturer I want to go with. They also have the minimum order quantity. This is so convenient because I have a project right now where I missed the minimum order quantity for some of the parts, like one or two of the parts. I thought I got all of them, but it's really annoying when you have to wait a full 24 hours when the assembly house is like, hey, you don't have the minimum order quantity for this part. What's minimum order quantity? It's the minimum number of that part that you need to order to get the parts at this overall price, okay? A lot of places, most places you can get a minimum order quantity of 1, meaning you can order just 1 if you want. Some parts you have to order 10,000 of them, like in this case from Our Electronics. The more you order, the more copies or pieces of a part you order, the lower the overall price. And that's like volume pricing, right? That's how manufacturers are able to, well, that's how companies and hardware companies are able to produce boards like pay a certain amount so much cheaper to make a PCB, a printed circuit board that goes in an electronic device, and then sell that electronic device for, you know, $10 or $5. This is how they do it. Okay. All right. So with that being said, I'm mixing this in for both like newer people to this thing and also those of you who already know this stuff. All right. What I like here is the alternates, right? It recognizes alternates when it asks you that. I can delete this row to get rid of this alternate because it's got all kinds of issues. I don't want to deal with that. And that's real easy. Let's see. This one I don't want, so we're going to delete that row. I only want green check marks. Now, if this is this something that I would recommend? Let's see what the issue is. If I click on here, life cycle is not recommended for new designs. There are so many alternates in here that I'm not even going to bother looking for one that can go into a new design. Although maybe I could. Let's see. Let me double click on this thing. Click on the outside link. And then let's see what we've got here. This is the Newark Murata multi-layer. So what I would do is I would copy this description, then look for, well, before I even do that, let's see if there are any alternate parts. The year trend is that this is getting used less and less frequently, less and less often. So based on this, powered by Spectra information, we know that the part may not be as good or viable. What about this other part? If I double click on here and then click on my thing, this is in production. Let's look at the history. The year trend is down by only 0.51%. This is strong. If we compare the numbers to this, 120K in use, 50K. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure that's not the only thing. This part and alternate parts. Okay, so we got alternate parts here. Hold up. Okay, so we can find alternate parts for this thing, but you have to be very careful. Are these true alternate parts? Let's look at the specs. 0402, 0.1 picofarad ceramic multi-layer capacitor. 100 nanofarad. Okay. Let's see. So if I were to click on this part, right? Kyocera AVX, copy, and then it probably already shows up. Let me see, it's 2A. Yeah, it shows that it's a good alternate. So you know what they likely did? These engineers likely did. They likely used Octapart to fill in these alternate part options. That is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead, delete this row and have all my check marks. Now, what about this yellow thing? 2 issues detected was the issue here. Oh, okay. No more issues detected. So what it detected was that one of the alternate parts, that alternate part that I had there, wasn't a good enough alternate. So that was the indicator. Very nice. If I go over here, what does it say? 2 issues detected. Candidate not a valid alternate. So it's saying probably this one lower down for this C514 capacitor, not a valid alternate. Alternate part parameters differ from primary part. See, these are extremely important catches. I'll continue or pick up in the next video, but we've already seen how much time this is saving me already. Look at this. Let's do one more. One issue detected. Disable checks for this row. No suppliers found. Let's take a look. So if I were to double click on this component, why is it saying no suppliers found? Why is it saying that? Because I see suppliers. So we've got KiCAD. Or is it the case where you have to set up your suppliers? Because you can set your suppliers for this thing in the BOM tool, your preferred suppliers. So yeah, I'm not seeing any of my preferred suppliers. We have to check out supply and distributor are the same thing. So if I were to go core staff, Verical, KiCAD, I'll pick up in the next video where we look into modifying our approved suppliers, especially when you're dealing with procurement. You know what I'm talking about. As small, medium size, large size enterprise business, you have to go through procurement. You need to, with product management, whatever. We have certain relationships with certain companies and manufacturers where they say, hey, get all your parts from Kyocera or all your parts from Panasonic or Yageo. You know what I'm talking about. All right. Or if you don't know, then you need to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to show you, I'm going to get you up on game on how to use your ECAD software for enterprise. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Check out the tool and click on the link below to access it. Use my link and start winning.